Good day, everyone. Today, we are going to have an overview about the hardware description language. So basically, in our course CPE 311L, we cannot continue or pursue without knowing what hardware description language is all about. Okay, so we have to have an idea what we are going to learn into this course. So, what is HDL? HDL means, as I've said earlier, it's the hardware description language. From the word itself, so as you can see here, it's hardware description language. So it's a language that describes the hardware, right? So it is a language that describes the hardware. So if we are going to think about it, language like C++, C, right? You're going to ask the computer to process such thing, but basically that's just sa process lang siya or sa software part lang siya. But here, say for example in this image, you can see a circuit, right? It's a circuit. We have digital gates, and we also have the element that the flip-flop shown in this circuit. So what we're going to study here is that we are going to describe no unsa man ang mga naa dira sa circuit because we will not be talking about a small circuit. As you can see, makita nato diri, it's just a very small circuit. Now what if we are going to have 10 times sa or, 10 times sa and etc. No, it's a very big problem. Okay, so it will not be scalable. Mahihirapan tayo dyan to uh, we will have a hard time to draw 10 times more of this. Now, it's not scalable. It's not scalable. So, that's why HDL is very important. Now, we can design, simulate, and test digital circuits using HDL running on a simulator, of course. It is a description of the circuit schematic. So, description of a circuit schematic, for example, dire, you can see unsa man ang description ani niya. No? Mo na siya to ang studihan. So it consists of two sections. We have header and parts. So header, it defines the interface of the circuit. So obviously, uh, in making a digital circuit or in making a circuit, we have inputs, right? For example, sa atong gipalit na IC na which is 74LS08 na siya inputs, na po siya output. So ang output ibutang na pud nimo sa input sa pikas IC. So, ina na siya. So, those defines the header. So, sa header lang na siya na part sa HDL. Now, we also have the parts section. So, ang parts sections are other chips and connections that make up the circuit. So, like wires, no? Ano siya mga other parts sa parts section. Now, let's talk about the interface and the implementation. Okay, in HCL, we will see interface and implementation sa totality as a whole. So, for interface, it's the external perspective of the chip. Okay, what you see lang sa gawas, no? For example, NE55 timer. Kung unsa na to nasa gawas sa NE555 timer, mo to yung interface. So, dili na to makitaan ang sulod sa NE555 because that would now be the implementation. So, si interface lists the input and outputs. So, input and output lang. No, kita lang ang gawas lang yun niya. And the insides can be treated as a black box. Now, the implementation is the internal perspective of the chip. So, kung unsay sulod sa imong chip, for example, again, another IC NE555, unsay mga unod anang NE555? Na siya pulse, di ba? So, because it's a timer. So, it's the gate's internal architecture. Example, what goes on inside the black box. Mura siya, let me think of an example. um, okay, what siya computer ba na sa interface niya at makita lang isang monitor but we do not know what's going on inside it, 'di ba? Na operating system na nagalihok sa tanan, an ICPU na naga-process sa mga ginabuhat, no? So same lang gyapon na siya diri sa HDL. But we're just talking about the creation of an integrated circuit. Okay? So, or the designing of an integrated circuit. So in this course, you'll be given the interface API and will use your knowledge and imagination to come up with the implementation. So API just means the application programming interface. It's a software intermediary that allows two applications to talk to each other. Okay, now to further murag masabtan ang interface versus implementation, let's look at this um, circuit. No, no, this is just an interface because what we see is as described earlier, it just gives the lists of inputs and outputs. It's just internal perspective of the chip. Kana lang siya, no? Mo na gina siya. So input and output, but the implementation is what we don't see inside the interface. So giun sa pag-implement sa kanina integrated circuit. Okay. So I hope you understood the difference between the two. And I hope you already have an idea on what we'll be discussing in the next videos. Okay, so in this course CP311L, uh, I'm planning to discuss the Verilog. Okay, there are two types actually, the VHDL and the Verilog HDL. So you can search, okay, you can search online the difference between the two. I will be making that one as an oral recitation for room for you to submit until Friday or Saturday. Okay, so thank you for listening. Have a great day.